Alright, so I'm back again at Lens Studio. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the simple head Fbx file that I just created in Blender. I'm going to import that in Studio. So I'm going to start by simply creating a new project. I'm going to start with a clean project. I'm going to try and make this as straightforward as possible. I think that by now you're already a little bit familiar with Lens Studio, and you might already know that you can import assets into your project by simply clicking here, and then from files down here, this plus button allows us to select a file. In my case, I'm going to pick it up from my desktop, this simple head FBX, and now if everything, yeah, you get this pop-up window that asks you about the Fbx import options. I don't normally change anything here. I just click in import and be done with it. And then the logger tells us that it's processing the Fbx file and that it was successfully imported. So that's all you need. And now, as you can see, there is a new element here with the file name, with the same name as the file name, simple head. And if I unfold it, you will see that there are a few things here. There are meshes, there are materials, and as you can see now, it's called, oh, I see that my mouse broadcasting tool is overlaying there. I'm going to try and move it a little bit. Sorry about that. Let's see, hopefully, yeah, I'm going to place it there. Yeah, that's the window that we often use the list. The panel, yeah, hopefully it's a little bit more clear now. So over here, you can see that there is a mesh called head. It's called head because I renamed it in Blender, otherwise it would be called cube. And the mesh and the material together, they make this thing called prefab. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this prefab to my scene, just kind of roughly, just there. I'm not going to do anything, and there you go, that's the object. It's already there. But objects are imported always, so the position 000 that you found in Blender, that you saw in Blender, is the position of the camera in Lens Studio. So as you can see, I've imported the object, and it's now kind of, the camera is inside of the object. What I'm going to do is, well, this is already pretty large, so I'm going to first scale it, make it a reasonable size. There we go, the size of a possible head. And then I'm going to drag it, wait, make it a little bigger. I'm going to rotate it also slightly. This side is a little better for my purpose. I'm going to drag it all the way to the back. Whoops. Undo, undo. Okay. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to simply add a head binding. I don't really want the full face mask. I just want a head binding. That's all I need. And I'm then going to actually attach my simple head to the head binding. So now, as you can see, as this person moves their head, the mesh moves with them. Let's see. But I have the occluder, so I'm going to turn the occluder away, and there. What the occluder does is it basically takes the video feed that you just saw. It takes the video feed and maps it into a 3D object. The occluder is that thing. I'm gonna zoom in here so you can see. The occluder is this blue thing that you see here. And what it does is it takes the video feed and it creates kind of like a 3D mesh where the face is mapped. So you see the face of this person, but in fact you can see that the head is cut in vectors. That's the occluder doing that job. That's often needed because you want, if your head rotates, you want to perform occlusion on any object that you might put around the head. In our case, we don't really need it, so I'm just gonna, you can just in fact delete it. I'm just gonna delete it. That's it. And now I have an object that is kind of wrapping my head around. I'm going to make it this a little bigger and kind of position it there. And again, a little bigger. All right. So we have a new head for this person. What else can we do with it? I could, for example, give it one of the materials in the material library. I'm going to add. Let's use this yellow material. Yellow add. It will now add here a pretty huge material. When you add the yellow material, normally the consumption of space goes up quite a bit. We don't see the update happen just yet, but you'll see that the yellow material uses quite a bit of space. And now what I'm simply going to do is I'm going to select the head, and over here the default material that came with head. I'm going to drag the yellow material there. There you go. And what yellow does is it actually is a pretty complex shader that is doing this kind of explosion effect. And again, like you can do with any material. Again, I'm gonna move the broadcasting of the keys so that it doesn't bother you while I do this. Yes, over there. So here you can change the attributes of the yellow animation. That's the speed. It's kind of freaky. Yeah, something a little bit gentler would be nice. That's a bit fast already. I'm gonna do 0.2. Right, kind of like it like that. And then a little bit less strong, so that it stays a bit closed. There we go. Ooh, we have kind of, yes. I'm gonna go for 0.4 something here. Yeah, and you have, yeah, I just made this in a couple of steps. As you can see, it's not all that it's not that complicated. Yeah, that's it. All I needed to show you was how to bring an object from Blender and bring it to Lens Studio and play around with it with the basic features of Lens Studio. I think I'll stop here for the sake of keeping this video brief, and I'll see you in the next one.